so hot it makes you choke. Of cool fresh air, never a whiff. That's the life of a true blacksmith.
By using tools to hammer, bend and cut.
But their skills and art are always something to behold, as can still be seen here at Blitz Hill.
Well, it all started, Baba started in 1975. I got this letter out of the blue inviting me to go to the States to a conference of the Artist Blacksmiths Association of North America. Artist Blacksmiths, what the hell's that? You mean there are other blacksmiths in the States? I'll go and blind them with my technique such as it is. And I went and I did a demonstration, and when I got there, I was absolutely amazed because these guys were amazing, and they were redesigning iron. They'd gone from the traditional designs that we thought were orthodox, and they were doing wonderful things, making 2-inch diameter round into things like spaghetti, you know, amazing. And I was, God, this is fantastic. Then I did my demonstration, which was pretty, they were polite. It wasn't very good. They were expecting a European master, and they got me. And then I showed the slides of my guys' work. They were very impressed with that, so that sort of redeemed me. And the next year, 76, I went back, and there was a conference again in a place called Carbondale in Illinois. And same people, only this time there were 500 of them. And it was Woodstock. It was the beautiful weather on the shores of a lake, wooded slopes, demonstration areas set up already. And everybody fell in love, and everybody's lives were changed, and it was just amazing. They thought they were the last ones on the planet, and look at it now. We thought they were the last on the planet. There must be more smiths in Britain. We should be able to reproduce this thing in Britain. And the upshot of it was, it's, to my shame, some years later, in 78, we had got 30 smiths arrived at our place for the weekend, 3 barrels of beer. And, and at the end of the weekend we had our association. Baba.
Once the museum selected Ollie's design from the 3 designs that the design team had come up with, we then had to decide how big to make the sculpture, and Ollie mocked things up a cardboard model of the foundry box as full size to help him decide the proportions that he wanted. So then the basic flat shape of the foundry box was laser cut from 12mm plate and then folded into the half shape of the foundry box. So what we're doing now, the noise over your shoulder, is we're fettling the half foundry box shape to make sure they fit snugly together, and we've got a really tight fit between the 2 foundry boxes to assist with the riveting process. The idea is that the rivets are going in at a white heat, about a good 1200 degrees centigrade. So then the first blow with a sledgehammer causes the rivet to expand outwards into the hole and get a really good tight fit, and then the subsequent blows put a head on the rivet, and then when it cools down it contracts and pulls the metal together.
It needs to get to a temperature that's like a bright red, almost to an orange, so it's nice and fluid and malleable. It looks incredible.
Thomas,
It's the best.
that's the bottom.
What?
That's the bottom, that's the top.
No, that's the top.
No, that's the bottom.
No, that's the top.
You know, it's an appreciation of what Abraham Darby, what his family, and what everybody here at Bliss Hill has done by, you know, by being a part of the Industrial Revolution, and which has created the industry we live in today and the world we live around us. Right, so yeah, this is a piece of normal mild steel used. It's just been hot rolled in the round bar. Basically, it's room temperature now, perfectly safe to hold it. Stick it in the fire and see what happens.
Oh, that quick, like 30 seconds?
This, slightly sparkling, this may be 1,000 degrees now, and you can see it's slowly cooling, and that's the slag forming on it as it's cooling. Slightly steaming, a little bit hot to touch, but and think how many things would be different without cast iron and, you know, with wrought iron and steel, and how different would life be if things hadn't been put into motion in the way they have.
Okay, we're going to go back inside now and interview a few people and get them to explain what we're going to do. Alan, just explain what your job is and where you come from, what your name is. Hey, what's your name?
Alan.
Alan?
Perry.
Perry. Where do you live?
I live in Wales.
You live in Wales. And what's your job here? What's your, you know, what do you actually do?
Oh, my title is Forge Master, Mr. Clark.
Yeah. Or you might call yourself a gopher.
Pretty much. Doesn't mean to say I'm any good at forging metal.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's Steve Rook and his team. Steve, explain what you're doing, please.
What?
And this man is always getting in the way, isn't he?
This is my photo opportunity, Tim.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so explain what you're doing, Steve.
We're just placing the securing bolts in the base of the pillar. We're just putting the bolts in the base of the pillar.
You don't have to shout because I'm here and it's picking up from me mic.
We're just going to put the bolts in the base of the pillar.
Yeah. And what part is this piece and what does it do?
Well, these are the casting boxes that are going to contain the individual elements the other people are making.
Yeah.
And there's another 2 of these to be put into place during the course of the weekend.
Right. And so how do they know what sizes to make? Do they all have a pattern of this or certain sizes?
Yes, they've all had a pattern of this and they've designed their pieces based on steel.
Yeah.
To fit in these boxes.
Okay.
So it's a very exciting project.
Yeah. Can you explain to what's happening and how the design came about?
They're based on stylised foundry boxes. Am I looking at you or him? They're based on stylised foundry boxes.
Yeah.
Hark back to what the technological advances Abraham Darby and his family achieved over the years. But with a bit of a modern twist, and it allows us to have apertures that each artist can take the brief in their own special way.
And the people that are making pieces for it, are they all excited about the shape and the design?
It's amazing.
Get a lot of feedback from them.
They're so keen.
Yeah.
I sent out a few emails, I had people ringing me. I've never spoken to them before in my life.
Well, you're a very quiet chap, aren't you, really?
Well, that's it. Known for that. But it's amazing to see it grow from a sketch 6 months ago to something that's 3 metres tall. And this is my piece I've chosen to do. It's I was trying to show how the work and the labour that men put in over the years basically built Britain. So I was trying to show how men are part of the machines.
Name? Gaffer. It is a cool name.
going in one of the openings, and over on the fly press here, when it gets hot enough, it's in the fire, okay, and bring it out, which is hot, and they'll do another stage now. So they're now folding it over to make it like a tyre, you know, a conventional tyre.
What's the inspiration behind this?
Well, I've just sort of woken up, so I'm a bit rusty, but it's for Ted and Edna, and Ted rode a bike quite a long way, and this is for Ted and Edna. That's all I can... I'm not... It's written all down here. He liked bikes.
The premise is Ted and Edna, and Ted used to cycle from Accrington to Kent to see Edna. This is back in the 1950s. So it's kind of a suitable vehicle for luxury and dream, if you like.
Okay.
Many happy years of marriage, 3 grown-up children, grandchildren, and our first grandchild just had her first bike for her birthday.
Aww.
And it's just a cyclical thing, and it continues. I think it's one of the best designs of the modern age, and a suitable tribute to Iron's history, really.
This is Pete Crownshaw, which I'm going to interrupt him, which he's going to get really annoyed at because he's got a good heat. Can you explain to the man what you're doing, please?
Oh, yes, I'm making just a pair of branch welded scrolls here. It's fire welded the 2 pieces together here.
So what do you mean by fire welded?
Heated up to about 1400 degrees centigrade, and then under the action of hammering, welds itself together.
In the fire, it's beautiful. You can see it's like oily. You can see the whole surface is liquidating. And you can see it all pouring into the gaps. And then really, to actually stick it, you only need to tap it like just a little bit. It's very easy for it to oxidize, which means it burns instead of melts. That's the bloody best one you've ever done, man.
You start with the bloom of iron that would have come out of the foundries here. It slowly grows up into industry under the chain. You've got the artist blacksmith in at the top.
Well did! Got a real close up. There it is.
So this is the furnace smelting the iron, and then we'll have the river of iron running out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Does it always turn out like your designs as you design it, as you draw it, or does it sometimes take on a life of its own?
No, always stop faithful to the drawing.
What section did you make these out of? 40mm round?
1.25 inch, whatever that is.
40mm round.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's American, he doesn't understand metric.
This started out as a bar that was about this long. And then it was stretched sideways and then drawn out. Each one is scaled differently, but when viewed from a focal point, it actually makes an entire image. And the whole point is Abraham Darby, or this is a representation of Abraham Darby. He was able to see all of these things come together, both circumstance, innovation, and also technology. To start the ball rolling for the Industrial Revolution.
But bring it back towards me. The hairline lines up and not the eye. Now it's just sort of a well choreographed sort of dance between an adjuster and someone with a line of sight.
He's taken a chunk out of that section, and then he's going to draw it out to a certain size that he wants. I can't think which one it is he's making. Let me find out.
I'm working on this particular piece here.
Yeah.
There's a set in here, you can't see it, but it's there.
Yeah. Where do you come from?
Sorry?
Where do you come from?
Canada.
And this guy's from Australia. From Arkansas.
Next to Texas.
This gentleman here is from Belgium.
Yeah.
This gentleman's from London.
Yeah.
This gentleman's from France. And he's from Yorkshire. No, Lancashire. And I come from Surrey. So it's pretty mixture. Well, there are people here from different countries, And some of us don't quite understand the language of the different countries. We all speak the same language with fire and metal and forging. The international language of blacksmithing. We're lifting up from the second one from the top, get it up upright, and then we check to see that it's not leaning backwards and forwards. Drive into the forklift and then I can just twist it and then we drop it in position.
Oh, so you're actually going to take it in there vertically?
That'd be a good idea. Yeah.
Fantastic. A bit wobbly, but we can fix that.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's huge. From design to realisation in under 6 months. Not bad, really.
We're celebrating Abraham Darby, aren't we, and Abraham Darby's legacy to this particular site where he devised a way of producing mass volumes of coke. And coke's really important because obviously it's specifically for melting iron. Abraham Darby made his specifically for smelting of iron. So kind of it's an homage to him really, which is why they put the foundry crew in here, because Abraham Darby essentially was a foundry man. So this is the link in between.
So what's actually on, what do these bits do here?
To help with the mixing of it.
And that's the resin, right?
This is the resin, yeah.
There's so many little processes and different little parts to it, and they all have to get right.
So are you having to do it quick because otherwise it'll set before you're done?
15-minute work time approximately.
15?
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes. Right. We'll fill those cups in the scratch balls.
These are the cups which go on top of the moulds, which is just basically somewhere to pour the metal. It's nice to have something to aim for. So literally they're upside down and sit on top when they're set. These things that I'm doing right here, these are scratch moulds. They're not castings at all, they literally get turned up on their end, and that's what those people are doing over there. You just scratch a relief design into the surface, and we just spoon a little bit of metal onto it, and then you get, you know, the positive of the negative you've inscribed.
Do you know the worst one? I was driving down the M6 toll the wrong way, and you rang me and I picked it up, and then about 10 signs just appeared, and all the roads split off. Went the wrong way, mate. I was like, bloody Stephen! It's his fault! I ended up like an hour and a half.
Up the iron into like digested biscuit sized chunks. That's our scientific like size.
These are the bags here with a certain weight of fuel, which is a coke is this size. Then you've got the limestone, little bits of limestone in there, look. That's what you call the flux.
What we're going to have is we're going to have 2 ladle crews, and they're going to rotate around. Everybody here can pour. You just got to find someone who's similar height to you. That's the main thing. And then make sure that you're good communicators and you like each other, and you're not going to like, you know, fight or anything like that.
How is it even active now?
Just a little bit.
And it will go according to plan?
Oh, we had a couple of hiccups.
Everyone's still alive?
Yep. It gets a bit scary sometimes when you... And it's you don't mean to be brash, but you have to. Yeah, you want something done now. You can't wait 5 minutes. You hurt somebody, and it really hurts a lot.
The mold split.
Metal spewed out all over the side. We had to shovel loads of sand on it to put it out.
Is that mold dead?
Yeah, completely gone. Yeah.
Well,
It's
it
a shame.
might be very artistic when you split it open.
You have escaped me all weekend.
After about 30 odd years, you think it's going to go, you know, it's going to change, people won't want it, you know, it's going to be, you know, it's just going to disappear. But it doesn't, it just gets just as good, if not better, every time. People from straight out the colleges, but we're gleaning from there. I mean, they could probably put a good gate together or a good piece of structure together, but the ideas that come through, and they sort of open your mind to what can be done. It's a beautiful feeling.
My mould came out really well.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a little bookcase, obviously.
Ooh, wrong. Like it's Christmas, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? He's made himself a present.
Yeah, that's come out really nicely.
Totally like Christmas. And it's horrible when you do a pour and you haven't got a mould, because then everyone's got presents and you don't. But I've got presents. And thank you.
So what they're going to do is they're going to do that first fix here.
Yep.
Take it away.
Test fitting, and then they'll take it away to do fine finish, detail, and put their finish, whether it's wax or zinc or powder coat or paint. And then once that's all done and they're happy with it, it comes back, and that's what the 6 holes are for affixing. So it should bolt right in. And that'll be done after this whole structure goes away for galvanizing.
Ladies and gentlemen, honoured blacksmiths, I ask you please to cease your trade for 2 minutes and pray heed.
Framed in the archway to his city, the silhouetted blacksmith stands, wearing his rough leather apron, his rolled up sleeves reveal his powerful forearm. Quickly to his anvil, repeatedly striking, hammering the metal into shape, constantly turning, drawing, shrinking, upsetting, pinching, swaging, an English artisan and craftsman. God save the Queen!
like they've done before. I never will play the wild rover no more. No, they never. No, they never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. It's no, they never. No, they never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more.